Sunday in Miami. The Washington Nationals have set sail to the postseason. They'll be arriving there shortly. And if they're playing like this, look out. Because Washington has taken the first three from Miami in a 4-game set, which ends today on Jose Fernandez bobblehead day. Steven Strasburg gets the ball for the Nationals. Maybe Justin Bour's bat can stay hot as the Fish and the Nationals get ready to go. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. The Nationals in 2 tight games and a 6-2 win in game 1 have won the first 3 of this series. And Hut, I'm telling you, if you're the rest of the National League and you're an advanced scout watching this for the postseason, you've got to be impressed.
Yeah, I would say the advanced scouts watching the Nationals getting ready for postseason are impressed with the way they've approached this series, not only the way they've played, too.
Yeah, they have. Pitching matchup in this one. The Fish against Steven Strasburg, and hopeful that Nathan Eovaldi can make a start as well. Let's start with Strasburg, because he's a guy that has momentum as well, and he might just be the opening starter in the postseason.
Yeah, it's really interesting. If you look at his record here at Marlins Park, it's not very good. But if you look at his overall record coming into this start, he's been their best pitcher. As a matter of fact, his last 4 starts, Strasburg has not walked a batter. He leads the National League with 230 strikeouts.
How does Nathan Eovaldi slow down this Nationals team? It has been a tough September for the right-hander.
Boy, it has been a tough September. It has been a tough second half of the season. Just 1 win and an ERA over 6, coming off a rough start against the Mets. It's all about location. It's all about changing speeds just a little bit to keep the hitters off balance for Nathan Eovaldi.
It's all about getting a win, trying to add to that win total on a surprising season for Miami. It's been tough to do against the Nationals. Defense. Some good defense last night. Though the Marlins dropped a 1-run game, the leather was flashing. We got that when we return.
Thanks, Rich, and good afternoon, everybody. One of the tough things about last night's 3-2 loss, a close one for the Marlins, was they played tremendous defense, and usually when you do that, it does parlay into a win for you.
Well, if it wasn't for the defense last night, it would have been a lot worse than 3-2. It would have been there's some tremendous defensive plays. We'll take a look at some of them. 3 double plays in the first 3 innings of this game helped Jared Cozart out of some jams. And look at Marcell Ozuna has done a great job out in center field. He got turned around a little bit, but picked the ball back up. Ends up making a catch about 415 feet away.
That was a great one. The double plays you mentioned. Nice rapport there between Solano and Echeverria.
Here's helping himself, Jared Cozart. Not a great throw, but Donovan Solano makes a great adjustment. Look at the big guy, Justin Bour. Range into his right, flipping around. Good feed. And here, Jeff Mathis from his knees guns down Jason Worth trying to steal third, and here's the play of the night for me. Donovan Solano, what an outstanding play.
And hard to believe you lost with all those great plays, including this one too, getting Ryan Zimmerman at the plate. So the Marlins made a lot of plays that they did get out hit in the game, 12-7, and only had 4 left on base. Didn't have a lot of offensive chances. They're going to have to change that somehow against Strasburg here today.
Yeah, they got to find a way to get going offensively against this Washington Nationals pitching staff. It's going to be tough. But hopefully against Strasburg, they've done well against them a couple times this year.
All right, especially this ballpark. So we're all set here for our final Sunday home game of the season, Marlins and the Nationals. The Phillies will be in here Tuesday to Thursday to close out the home schedule. Got some afternoon baseball coming up. Enjoy it with us. Strasburg and Eovaldi, the pitching matchup. We'll have the call next on Fox Sports Florida.
Is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places by AT&T UVerse TV. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK-AT&T, mobilizing your world. By Checkers. Checkers has 3 favorites in one box. The $2 shrimp and chicken bites and fries box only at Checkers. And by your South Florida Honda dealers and sfhondadealers.com. In Miami, Nathan Eovaldi on his way out to the mound as he takes aim at the Washington Nationals. A robust 90-64 are the Nationals. They now have a 14-game cushion between themselves and the Braves. They, of course, clinched early in the week. Jam Lexus brings you their lineup. A few of the regulars getting the day off here on Sunday. Not Anthony Rendon, he starts at third. Not Asdrubal Cabrera, he starts at second. Not Bryce Harper, he's in center. LaRoche is in there as well. But Kevin Franzen in the 5 spot. Danny Espinosa at short. Jose Lobaton is the catcher. Nate Shearholtz a start in right. And, of course, you've got one of the premier arms in all of baseball, Steven Strasburg, in the 9 spot. So that's what Eovaldi is up against as he tries to right the ship in one of his final starts of 2014. Pitch man, he brings you first pitch. Rendon is in the box. Eovaldi's ready to go. And this game starts with a fastball that misses low. Paul Schreiber calling balls and strikes. Rendon's been in the 2 spot throughout this series. The Nationals have not torn the cover off the ball, but Tommy Hutton, they've played very good baseball. They've scored enough runs to get 2 3-2 wins after a 6-2 win in Game 1.
Well, it's been kind of the way they've played all year, winning 90 games, the Nationals have. And they've pieced it together. We've talked about 4 players in their lineup. They're not all in the lineup today for Matt Williams, but 4 with over 80 RBIs.
Matt Williams, a guy that not a lot of people have thrown his name out there as manager of the year, but I think he deserves a lot of consideration. Remember, this is a Nationals team that last year underachieved, and Williams this year has them headed to the postseason, and if this keeps up, they'll have the best record in the National League and home field advantage. Echeverria on to first in time. So Eovaldi gets it. Now here's the defense from Miami.
Well, you know, the Marlins played some good defense. We saw that on Marlins Live. They certainly did last night. Here's the defense for today's game. Yelich, Ozuna, and Kike Hernandez is in right field. Casey McGee, Echeverria, Solano, Justin Bour over at first base, and Salty is behind the plate. It's going to be a good year, Rich, I think, for the voters as far as manager of the year in the National League. I think Mike Redmond, we talked about Red about a week ago, certainly will get some votes in consideration. Clint Hurdle probably will once again. I think with the fade of Milwaukee, Ron Renicky not so much.
How about Don Mattingly having to manage all the egos and all of that?
He should get it, but he won't.
Right. Guy, I mean, with the,
just for dealing with all of that.
With a payroll of, you know, $240, $250 million payroll.
And a couple of other guys, I know you and I will agree on this, who probably won't win the award, but might get a vote or two. Terry Collins, and Bud Black.
Terry Collins, without a doubt. And Bud Black has the Padres 8 under 500, a better team than the Rockies and the Diamondbacks by far in that division. Cabrera swings and misses, and Eovaldi gets a strikeout. And there are 2 outs here in the first. Good start by Nathan.
Boy, it is, and that's the tantalizing thing of Nathan Eovaldi, who has the stuff. There is no question about it. Good breaking ball down and in, buries it to get Cabrera. You just want to see the consistency, and you would love to see Nathan Eovaldi come up with some off-speed pitch, a changeup that would be a good pitch to left-handed bats.
Here's Bryce Harper now. Harper in center field in this ball game. And he takes a fastball outside.
But the good numbers for Eovaldi, this is his 32nd start. He's not missed a start all year, and he's going to go probably over 190 innings.
Liner into left center, and that's a base hit. So Harper dumps one into left, and up comes Adam LaRoche. I think that's significant for a guy like Eovaldi, still a youngster in a rotation in the major leagues, climbing towards 200 innings, over 30 starts. And so when you look at his September numbers, maybe you have to factor in the workload as to the drop in efficiency or effectiveness this month.
You think about the entire year for Nathan Eovaldi. Eovaldi and his wife Rebecca welcomed the birth of their first child. So a little disruption there in the middle of the year. So he's dealt with that, being a father for the first time. A lot of things go on. It's not just you see a guy out on the field. as a baseball player.
Here's another thing that people don't talk about that veteran pitchers have trouble dealing with, and that is run support. His last 19 starts, he's had a combined 19 runs scored for him in all of those 19 starts. His run support is the second lowest among all starters in baseball.
So he really never has had that opportunity to go out there with a comfortable lead.
Now, that being said, he has been knocked around, especially his last couple of starts. Lost 9-1 to the Mets his last time out. LaRoche lofts one into left center. That would be Marcell Ozuna, who snares it. And we're underway in Miami. Marlins and Nationals. On this beautiful Sunday, brought to you by H.H. Gregg. There are some clouds in the area. Roof is closed. AC is on. So is the ball game. Marlins and Nationals. Yeah, the Jose Fernandez bobblehead is a sweet thing to have on this Sunday. Marlins certainly have missed him this year. Jan Lexus brings you Miami's lineup. Christian Yelich, Donovan Solano, Casey McGee, Marcell Ozuna, Justin Bohr has had a nice September, especially when he's been in the starting lineup. Jared Saltalamacchia, Kike Hernandez, Danny Echeverria, Nathan Eovaldi hits ninth.
Kind of an interesting history for Steven Strasburg against the Marlins. 7-5 is his career record against Miami, and that's the most wins against any team. Yet he's had a couple of horrendous games here at Marlins Park. Now the key in those games, though, a couple of long balls by Giancarlo.
Here's Yelich against Strasburg. And a strike. It's amazing with all the things that Strasburg has done. Leads the National League in strikeouts, his ERA in the low threes. He's just 12-11.
Pitched a lot better at Nationals Park. He's 8-3. In Washington, he's 4-8 with an ERA over 4 on the road.
And thus you can bet he's going to get the ball at one of the first two games of the division series if the Nationals in fact do clinch home field. They're your strikeout leaders, Johnny Cueto and Clayton Kershaw, 2 behind. Yelich goes down, doesn't like the call, turns to Paul Schreiber, has a few words for the home plate umpire. Strasburg, 231 Ks.
And he got it right there. Let's check out the defense for the Nationals this afternoon. Kevin Franson, Bryce Harper, and Nate Scherholz in the outfield. Rendon, Danny Espinosa, he's the shortstop. There's Drupal Cabrera and LaRoche over on the right side. And Jose Lobaton is behind the plate. You don't think much about the backup catcher, but in Lobaton's last 21 starts, the Nationals are 18-3, and the pitchers have an ERA at 2.15.
Believe me, the pitchers think a lot about
They do.
that. They know. And Lobaton behind the plate. Solano with Casey McGee behind him. The Marlins, boy, this has been a frustrating series. 3-2 loss last night. They had a 2-0 lead most of the way. A 3-2 loss on Friday night. The Fish had opportunities. They just couldn't get Doug Fister. And then they got into the tough part of the Nationals bullpen: Thornton, Clippard, and Storen. And Solano draws a walk,
which is absolutely amazing because in his last 4 starts over 26 innings, Strasburg had not walked a batter and put together 28 strikeouts. So his first walk in a while.
Here's the scouting report.
Yeah, he'll use 2 and 4 seamers. He's got that big power curveball. The circle change is very good. He's got a good repertoire.
Now McGee. Strasburg living with the fastball. Out in front, 0-1. The Nationals have the lowest ERA in the National League, 3.03. It's easy to see how they make their living. Their offensive numbers are in the upper half, but just barely. With a dynamite rotation, an embarrassment of riches, so to speak, for Matt Williams when he sits down with Mike Rizzo and his staff and tries to figure out, okay, who's going to start game 1, game 2, game 3.
See, some teams don't have that problem.
Some teams have talked about going with a 3-man rotation in the division series.
I mean, if you're the Dodgers, you know who's going to pitch game 1. If Seattle is fortunate enough to get in to postseason and he's available, you know who's going to pitch game 1.
That's the key phrase, though. If they're available, it depends on how you get to the postseason. If you have to burn your best guys just to get there, then it's, hey,
all hands on deck.
Strap it up and let's go.
You know, Adam Wainwright, if available, is going game 1 for the Cardinals. Let's see, bobblehead, foul ball. It's been a good day already.
That's right. Should be a fun day in Major League Baseball with all kinds of wild card implications. Teams trying to hang in there. McGee got jammed, rolls it to Rendon, sweeps it to Cabrera, who turns the double play. And Strasburg is done with the Fish in the first.
es presentado en español vía SAP por Kendall y West Kendall Toyota.
Giancarlo, he is missed, and it'll be interesting in a few weeks when all is said and done and people again start picking over the season and choosing MVPs and Cy Youngs and Rookie of the Year and Manager of the Year. We'll see how Giancarlo's season stacks up at the end of the week. Kevin Franzen, Danny Espinosa, Jose Lobaton for the Nationals. Now, Franzen, Espinosa, and Lobaton aren't household names in terms of stars or starters. But you never know when a guy like Franzen could play a key role in a postseason series.
These are key games, and it's one thing to say, well, the regulars aren't in there. But you know what? These are key games for guys like Franzen, like Scherholz, like Lobaton, to get them prepared for postseason, because their playing time will be limited when postseason starts.
Phillies are here on Tuesday. It's off day tomorrow. Half-price tickets on the Lexus Legends level, baseline reserve, bullpen reserve, home run porch. Final half-price Tuesday of the season. Pick up the Tuesday edition of the Miami Herald or El Nuevo Herald.
If you want to only come because of a nice pitching matchup, you'd want to come Tuesday night. Cole Hamels, Henderson Alvarez.
Without a doubt. The Marlins have 3 against the Phils and then 4 more against this Nationals team with a doubleheader on Friday, a day-night doubleheader.
Got a feeling we'll see a lot of Lobaton, Espinosa, and Franzen in that weekend in D.C.
Probably so, especially with the doubleheader. And then a game on Saturday and Sunday. Espinosa lines it foul. Even the fans are getting in on the hanging the jersey up. Nice. That's an old school one.
Yeah.
With the pinstripes.
Down in right field.
Solano gets the out. Espinosa bounces out. Here comes Lobaton. That win yesterday, Tommy, by Milwaukee was enormous. A contentious win over Pittsburgh. It keeps Milwaukee 3.5 back of the Pirates, who have the number 2 wild card spot. And the Pirates are just a game behind San Francisco in the National League wild card race. Over in the American League, that Royals loss has them teetering a bit. They're a half game back behind Oakland, and Seattle is a half game back behind Kansas City. All lined up. Cleveland is 3.5 out of the second wild card. And the Yankees as well are 4.5 out. Chase brings you the playoff update. Pitch misses outside. Every time I see that, I want to go to the ATM. Oakland.
It's that time of year.
Number 1 in the wild card. But the Athletics aren't playing that well. Kansas City's lost 2 to Detroit, which means that the Royals are staring at just trying to get, right now, the wild card. They are 2.5 back in the Central.
On the season, Rich, the Tigers have gone 13-5 against Kansas City.
Lobaton, switch hitting catcher, fouls it back to the screen.
The other thing about Eovaldi, as we've seen Nathan set career highs with starts and innings, the velocity's been there, and he's also thrown some good breaking balls in this one so far. Like that one.
That's a terrific one. How about that? He strikes out Lobaton. 1, 2, 3 go the Nats. Sacco, and Tootie the Fruity is here. Gotta like it. It's Sunday, Tommy. He gets all geeked up on Cuban coffee and comes down here and ties balloon animals. It's terrific. All right, this is what we've been talking about. The Marlins missing Stanton, obviously, but especially against Washington.
Well, over the years, how many times have we talked about the way Giancarlo has hit against the Nationals and hit at Nationals Park as well? But look at that, 22 career home runs. Those are his numbers against each of the pitchers the Marlins have seen this series. 3 home runs against Strasburg. He's hit 3 against Zimmerman, who the Marlins saw last night. You talk about the big guys certainly missed in the middle of the lineup.
Strasburg looks sharp in the first, a strikeout, a walk, and a double play ball. Marcell Ozuna, Justin Bour, and Jared Saltalamacchia here in the second. 33rd start, National League leading 33rd start for Strasburg. And I think for the Nationals, they've got to take certainly a lot of pride in the fact that the way they handled him with the Tommy John surgery, they took a lot of heat when they shut him down, limited his innings. Strasburg didn't like it, but here he is, over 200 innings pitched, leading the National League in strikeouts and leading the National League in starts with 33. And more importantly, headed to the postseason. He was not on that roster in 2012.
Now, one guy who has some pretty good numbers is Marcell Ozuna against Strasburg. Ozuna coming into this at bat 5 for 11 with a home run.
For Miami, out of the postseason race, trying to at the very least capture 3rd place in the National League East. They were passed last night by the Mets. The Mets are a half game ahead of the Marlins, and the Marlins are 2 back of Atlanta. So figuring out a way to get a win here and then trying to get hot against the Phillies, who arrive on Tuesday, would certainly help Miami's ambitions.
Yeah, the Phillies in Oakland to finish up their series. They'll fly to Miami, and they'll have the day off in Miami as well.
Ozuna to right. It peels foul. And into the seats. Great catch.
That's been an area this year where we've seen some really great catches.
Marlins are much improved defensively in row 7.
So I think it stands to reason. If you get a ticket in that area, you better be able to pick it.
Full count. Strasburg staring in at Ozuna. Breaking ball misses in. Ozuna walks. So Strasburg, as Tommy pointed out, had that 4-start run where he struck out 28 and didn't walk anybody. His ERA was 1.69 in those last 4 starts. Here he's walked 2 in the first 4 hitters he's faced.
Yeah, his last ball game, a 4-2 win in Atlanta, 7 innings, 5 hits, no runs.
Justin Bour. Bour last night, 2 hits, drove in a run, has homered in the series. He takes ball 1. We check in with Craig Minervini. Craig?
Thank you, Rich. Justin grew up in Centerville, Virginia. It's about 20 miles outside of D.C., a suburb of Washington. He did not grow up a fan of the Nationals, though, he told me. He preferred just playing baseball. He played some football in high school. He was, as you might imagine, a defensive tackle in high school, but gave up football after his junior year to concentrate on baseball. I said, well, what about this week playing the Nats? He said, I'm getting a lot of texts and letters from, I got one friend who was not happy about my homer. I asked him why not. He said, because he had Pfister on his fantasy team. But he also told me he's looking forward to going home next weekend. He has not played at Nationals Park, so that'll be a kick for him in front of family and friends.
And if he keeps swinging like he's swinging, he'll be playing.
Yeah, it's very interesting that they're getting a good look at him here to see what role he may play going into next season for the Marlins.
A pitch by Strasburg, a perfect one. It barely caught the black, and it was right at the knees. Ozuna the runner at first. Four lines at foul. His numbers look even sexier when you shave off the pinch hitting at bats. I mean, 288, a homer, and 9 RBIs. But as a starter, his average is up at 400.
Yeah, 14 for 35 when he starts a game.
Rolls that one up the middle. Diving stop there, and a shovel is not in time. Boers got himself a hit. Espinosa did all he could to get to it. And with Ozuna hustling to second, his little shovel towards Cabrera, unable to get the out.
Well, making some contact. Great effort by Danny Espinosa at short. He didn't really have a play at first. And he felt, well, if I can flip it out, and if the flip had been there, he would have gotten the out. But an infield base hit for Justin Bour, and a couple of runners, nobody out.
So to Lamakia now. You got Kike Hernandez and then Adeiny Echeverria waiting in the wings. So first and second, nobody out.
You know, the one area for Saltalamacchia, he's been able to maintain a solid average here at Marlins Park. Overall 223, but a 277 batting average at home.
He'll be the first to tell you he's not happy with his batting average and production. His on-base percentage, though, is over 100 points higher than his batting average, which is always a good sign. He's walked 55 times, but he's punched out 138 in 359 at-bats. 20 doubles, 11 homers. Check to swing on a breaking ball. It counts 1-1. Well, as you noted it, the Marlins in this series have seen prime starting pitching. Jordan Zimmerman last night, Doug Fister the night before, both their ERAs well under 3. Gio Gonzalez got the win in the start on Thursday. And then Cole Hamels walks in here Tuesday night to open that series with the Phillies. Henderson Alvarez and Hamels, they matched up last week in Philly.
And the least of all of those names, they'll see the second game of that series. Kyle Kendrick.
2-2. Saltalamacchia, a little tapper towards second. Cabrera, Espinosa turns it, and the Marlins bounce into another double play. So 2 double plays. Kike Hernandez, the hitter. Ozuna's at third. And we're hoping you'll send us your fan photo, hashtag it FL fan photo, and then tweet whether it's at home, at the ballpark. Blue ribbon panel will make the selection. Strasburg working from the windup with Kike Hernandez up.
Boy, he has that easy, we talk about easy heat, very fluid delivery. The ball just jumps out of his hand. That was an easy 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
He's bigger than most people think he is. When you stand next to him, he's 6'4", 230. He was heavier early in his career at San Diego State when he came to pitch for Tony Gwynn, late Tony Gwynn. Strasburg now 26.
And he'll credit the late Tony Gwynn with a lot of his development.
Without a doubt. Now, Gwynn, of course, passing away from cancer. Gwynn felt it was from chewing tobacco. Strasburg, some other San Diego State players in the big leagues, with Gwynn's passing, have said that they will give that up. And in honor of Gwynn, quit. Sweeping breaking ball, and that finishes off Kike Hernandez, and it finishes the Marlins in the second. Scoreless ball game. It's the third. A reminder, a legal reminder. This copyright telecast is presented by the authority. The Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins.
Always pay attention when you say it's a legal reminder.
Well, it's better than, hey, any slips or falls, call the law office of Waltz and Hutton. We'll come to your aid. Nathan Eovaldi working here in the third. Nate Shearholtz, Steven Strasburg, Anthony Rendon. 8-9-1 for the Nationals. Eovaldi's been sharp. Drops that breaking ball in. He has a pair of strikeouts. A Bryce Harper single. He is the only hit so far. Shearholtz, the strong-armed outfielder. Former Giant, former Philly.
Former Cub.
That's right.
Actually, last year, as a Cub, hit 251, had 21 home runs. Struggled with Chicago this year. He was let go and signed as a free agent by the Nationals. And the one area for Shearholtz where he has an opportunity to be on their postseason roster that helps him, he's a left-handed hitter. Starts for Nathan Eovaldi over the years against the National League East. 33 career starts against the East. 4 games under 500, 8-12, but a very nice 3.60 ERA.
Ozuna's on the job out there, and he makes the catch.
There would be some arguments on this, Rich. But over the next couple of years, the National League East is going to have some tremendous pitching.
We already have a really good pitching staff, a top flight, the deepest. Maybe not with a top with Kershaw and Greinke atop it, but a much deeper pitching staff for the Nationals than the Dodgers. So, and you look at Atlanta. Atlanta always has good pitching.
Absolutely.
The Marlins have seen the Mets a lot. Jacob deGrom actually pitching in the ball game today in Atlanta. And with Harvey coming back from his surgery,
Zach Wheeler.
That's a very good rotation. You got the Marlins with Jose Fernandez, Anderson Alvarez, Zach Cozart is here now. You've got arms coming. Nicolino and Heaney, Eovaldi, Kohler. So, yeah, you're right.
It's not going to be an easy division for hitters.
Here is Rendon.
Of course, if you want to win a batting title, you somehow find your way to Denver.
That's right, whether you're Michael Kadire or Justin Morneau. Kadire won the batting title last year. Morneau right now, .318 average, 1 point ahead of Jay Hay. Josh Harrison in Pittsburgh at .317. Buster Posey at .310. Andrew McCutchen at .309. Ben Revere .308. There are 3 hitters in the top 10 who are not hitting .300.
Which is pretty incredible.
It is.
For a game or two, Anthony Rendon led the major leagues in runs scored. He scored 110, but last night Mike Trout with the Angels hit a home run, scored 3 times, and just another fantastic year for the Angels center fielder.
Rendon with a base hit into center field. His 4th hit of the series.
Mike Trout hitting .290, 35 home runs, 109 RBIs. And he scored about 112, 113 runs.
Well, Rendon leads the National League. Hunter Pence is behind him at 105. There's your major league leaders. Brian Dozier.
How about that? You know, and in looking at the Angels' 8-5 win last night against Texas, Albert Pujols, a couple of RBIs for the 12th time in the last 14 years, over 100 RBIs for Pujols.
This is a week, certainly, as Cabrera steps in, that you're watching the box scores, you're watching the league leader lists. Unfortunately for Giancarlo Stanton, he can't help himself. He's already been passed in runs driven in. Adrian Gonzalez is hot. He's up to 111. Stanton sits at 105.
Boy, Adrian Gonzalez with 5 yesterday in Chicago.
Anthony Rizzo's going to have to get really hot to catch him in home runs. There's a roller, and into right field it goes. Rendon stops there. And the Nationals piece together a couple of hits and bring Bryce Harper up with runners first and second. Anthony Rizzo at 31 homers. Giancarlo at 37. Rendon and Cabrera with base hits. Slugging percentage, Stanton still on top. Walks, Stanton probably will be passed by Matt Carpenter. Giancarlo 94 walks, Carpenter 91. Extra base hits, Stanton still on top, but Jonathan Lucroy is just 2 behind him at 67. Lifted down the left field line and out of play. Lucroy, by the way, is still the doubles leader at 52. D. Gordon leads in triples with a dozen and in stolen bases with 64.
You know, you look at the major league leaders in home runs. Nelson Cruz with the Orioles has 39. Chris Carter, the Astros, hit his 37th last night.
Am I out of line by saying if Stanton played in either of those ballparks, he'd be in the upper 40s?
Probably 50. He'd be hitting them up by the pumpkins, Rich.
That's right. That train that runs up in Houston. Or in Baltimore. I mean, that's a...
Oh, they get the little short fence. The ball flies.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I think Baltimore's actually more inviting than Philadelphia for a right-handed hitter.
I'll give you that.
This is important right here for Nathan Eovaldi. We've seen flashes where he's been in games and then all of a sudden a 3-4 run inning has hurt him. So this is an important situation. He has 2 out, got a couple of men on base, but he can get out of this inning. He's got a tough hitter though in Bryce Harper.
Got him. 1-2 breaking ball. Harper strikes out. Eovaldi does get out of the third without damage. Bottom of the third coming up. Miami and Washington scoreless. Tommy, they got to walk in the parade, they got a bobblehead, and now they're backed by the energy team.
Yeah, that's a young boy's dream.
That's a full day. The Geico quote. Here's the Gecko, thankfully bailing us out. Well, the Marlins being eliminated for the postseason. I'm proud of these guys. We battled through a lot of adversity. They've given me everything they have every single day.
And I think that's the one constant we've seen. We've talked about it with the way Mike Redmond has kept this bunch playing hard all the time. And there's certainly been some opportunities for that not to happen.
Fastball, Danny Echeverria fouls it back. You've got Echeverria, Eovaldi, and then Yelich. Echeverria an 0 for 10 in this series. And he takes a strike. He's kind of gotten away in this series from his patented drives to right field or right center.
However, as you pointed out, the Marlins have seen some tough pitching in this series too.
Top shelf. First cabin. Rendon. That was close. Rendon.
I think that was a little closer than Rendon thought it would be.
Absolutely.
He's going to file that away with Echeverria, who got out of the box really well. He looked at it. He took a little longer than he usually would, and I would imagine Rendon will file that away as he gets him by half a step.
Now Eovaldi. A lot of the games around baseball are either in the early innings or just about to start. A lot of games in the Central. In particular, interest to national fans. The Dodgers and the Cubs back at Wrigley Field. I don't know if the wind is blowing out like it was yesterday, but if it is, look out. It could be just as wild. The Dodgers had a 7-2 lead. Jason Worth going with the hooded look.
Yeah, I think the wind may have been blowing out at Minute Maid last night too. The Astros hit 5 home runs against Seattle.
Yeah, that was a costly loss for Seattle as they try to get themselves into the postseason for the first time in a long time. 2-2. That would be strike 3 called. Strasburg has added 3 strikeouts, first time through the order, to his National League leading total. Phillies on a Wednesday. On Wednesday, kids eat free. You get a coupon for a free can Be Frank bag of Frito-Lay chips, small Pepsi or Aquafina water. Marlins.com, your place to go for tickets.
Yeah, the other thing about Steven Strasburg, he only had 17 starts in the minor leagues. You mentioned out of San Diego State, all the notoriety, first player chosen, and didn't take long to get here.
Yelich fouls that one off, and it's 1-1.
And I think he's handled it pretty well, because with all that comes a lot.
He's not a real boisterous or outspoken guy. This is into Yelich. Yelich called out on strikes in the first.
He actually had 7 saves at San Diego State. Can you imagine him coming into a college game?
Pretty good pitch, and Strasburg looking sideways at Paul Schreiber.
That's pretty similar to the pitch that he caught Yelich with in the first inning. Caught him looking for strike 3.
Line shot on a hot Rendon. Throws across the diamond. And Yelich is out. Scoreless ball game in Miami. good to see Denny the other night.
Getting ready for the NHL season.
Outstanding analyst. He was certainly a decorated career in the NHL. Hall of Famer. He was and is a great ambassador for the game as well. His enthusiasm infectious. LaRoche into right field. And a base hit opens the fourth for Washington against Nathan Eovaldi. Kevin Franz and Danny Espinosa will follow. Eovaldi and Strasburg matched up here.
Just checking, the Mets have taken an early 2-0 lead in Atlanta behind Jacob deGrom. Trying to add to that rookie resume.
Kind of a slim pickings as far as rookies in the National League and that award.
And I think it's kind of a slam dunk in the American League with Jose Abreu.
He's that rookie that it really isn't a rookie, a guy that is well decorated in Cuba internationally.
That would be a good comparison.
And in the Cuban League as well.
Yeah, you have that conversation with the players who have won Rookie of the Year coming over from Japan. They could have a Rookie of the Year, or as our crack staff has suggested, a Newcomer of the Year.
I think it's actually a bit demeaning to the professional leagues in Japan that you don't recognize this guy as a professional, a guy that's played at that level.
Now I will say, because I've heard the discussion, and you have those coming from another culture, certainly a big adjustment for them. So in that case, yes, they are a rookie adjusting to the culture over here. But still, as you mentioned, they've played professionally.
Down the line, that's trouble. Kike Hernandez. Oh, he got it. No. Yes, it's a catch. That's a double play. The ball was at the edge of his glove as he rolled over. Hernandez sliding and tumbling, throws to first, gets the double play. Both umpires called it an out. Matt Williams is on the step of the dugout. Here's our first look. That's in the glove the whole way.
Never came out of the glove. Yeah, you can call him Kike. What a great play. He truly is extremely athletic. We've seen him in right, at second, at third base, and that was absolutely tremendous.
Now Matt Williams is walking out to start the replay process. But in the video room in the Nationals clubhouse, they're going to look at the same replays we look at, and Williams just got the nod that, yes, that's a catch.
That was a snow cone delight.
Terrific play. Here's Espinosa. Justin Bohr, and he gets to the bag. Great defense. Kike Hernandez in right takes care of two Nationals. Still scoreless. putting on air after this catch. And he was able to keep it in the webbing of his glove and get the double play.
That's the amazing thing, is that when that ball kind of landed in the webbing, not all the way in there, he was able to keep it there even as he landed hard on the ground, then came up and fired back to first base for the double play.
Donovan Solano. Now the Marlins back in the business of trying to figure out Steven Strasburg, and that's not been easy of late for any of the opponents. He beat the Braves 4-2 with 7 scoreless innings his last time out. Solano, McGee, Ozuna, and Strasburg misses outside. Solano walked back in the first. Strasburg has walked a pair, but sadly for the Marlins, they've bounced into 2 double plays and wiped out any opportunities they've had. Little dribbler, fair ball, and Rendon, very good third baseman as well, gets the out. South Florida Honda Dealers gets ready for Tuesday night. That's our next telecast. Off day tomorrow. Greg Minervini, Jeff Conine. It will be our last email Twitter Tuesday.
Sadly to say.
But a great pitching matchup. Cole Hamels, Henderson, Alvarez.
Even though, Rich, I know during the offseason you'll email me occasionally, usually on Tuesday.
That's right. To be honest, it actually happens much more frequently than that.
A text.
It usually has to deal with something that's happened in baseball that day, winter meetings.
Postseason game.
Postseason game. Sale at Tommy Bahama. Important things like that.
Friends and family at Nordstrom.
McGee bounced into a double play. Casey 4 shy of the National League record now for double plays in a season. He's got 30 on the year. Check swing, no swing. You know, I think I've been referencing the Major League record at 34. The National League record, Miguel Tejada as an Astro, 32. So McGee is 2 shy of the National League record. Hits it hard, but Cabrera is there. Gets the out. Come on out to Hialeah Park Savannah Cafe every Sunday for brunch and live music from noon to 3. $13.95 a person. Must be over 21 to dine. Anytime you get a flamingo into your broadcast, it's a good day. Back at the old ballpark. Actually, it wasn't a ballpark, it was a football stadium. The owl was usually a good omen for the Marlins, and not just Dan Uggla. Ozuna skies it into center, and it's caught there by Cabrera. Steven Strasburg is mowing him down. It's baseball on Fox Sports Florida, brought to you by Palmetto 57 Nissan. Palmetto 57 Volkswagen, home of your money-back guarantee. Jose Fernandez bobblehead day. On a Sunday, Marlins and Nationals. Easy there with Jose, okay? He has not been...
Take it easy on that surgically repaired right arm.
He's been cleared to throw on October 1st, so he hasn't started to throw yet. Jose Lobaton, Nate Schierholtz, and Steven Strasburg. That the lineup for the National League East champs, the Washington Nationals.
The Nationals head home. Of course, we've talked about the series. The Marlins will be in D.C. next weekend. The Nationals have tomorrow off. Then they have a 3-game series with the Mets before the Marlins come to town.
Tanner Roark, Gio Gonzalez, and Doug Fister will pitch in that series. Bartolo Colon, Dylan G, and Zach Wheeler going for the Mets.
For the Marlins, we'll see Jordan Zimmerman, Steven Strasburg in that series.
Maybe a Blake Trinan.
And of course, the Marlins will come up with a starter for one of those games of the doubleheader. I mean, it could be an Andrew Heaney. It could be an Anthony DeSclafani. I'm leaning toward Andrew Heaney.
Since we're going to Washington, I will lean either left or right.
We'll have to find out which way Mike Redmond is leaning.
The Mets are leading in Atlanta 2-0 with Jacob deGrom on the hill. Amazing. The Braves go from division leaders to wild card leaders to a team that is struggling to finish at 500 now. Hervin Santana against deGrom. That one flipped into left. Yelich a dive and it gets by him. Lobaton around first and into second. A gamble by Yelich.
Boy, the odds aren't real good on that gamble either in a game that's tied and you have a runner that doesn't have a lot of speed. If the ball's in front of Christian Yelich, Lobaton just has the single. And all of a sudden, and he didn't get leather on it. If you can take a gamble, you got to at least get some leather on it. Good play by Ozuna to back up Christian Yelich.
Here's Schierholtz now. You've got Strasburg and then Rendon to deal with.
The diving attempt by Reed Johnson in the ballgame last night hurt the ball club.
That really opened the door for the Nationals to erase a 2-0 lead, take a 3-2 lead, and they did not relinquish it. And Schierholtz rockets one in the gap, right center field. Ozuna and Hernandez collected. It's Hernandez on the track. It's a stand-up triple. The Nationals have a 1-0 lead. Nate Schierholtz follows up the Lobaton double with a triple.
Well, and all of a sudden the diving attempt is a moot point because Lobaton would have scored from first base anyway. Fastball out over the plate. These are those areas where Nathan Eovaldi has struggled. He'll really dazzle you for a few innings and then start to make some mistakes that get a whole lot of the plate.
Infield in. Strasburg takes high as he tries to provide himself with another run here. You've got a run producer behind him. So if you're Matt Williams, Eovaldi goes up to get it, gets the out, and get Strasburg.
Yeah, that's a good point, because with nobody out, you wouldn't want to take a chance with a squeeze or anything like that with Rendon coming up. Good play by Eovaldi to show off a little leaping ability, make that play. Infield in for Rendon.
Well, Rendon has bounced to short, single back in the third. Palmetto 57 Nissan leaderboard, total bases. Giancarlo Stanton still leading in total bases, but Rendon and Hunter Pence are creeping up. That's a name, if we go back to that list, that's a name that you, at the start of the season, would not have expected in the top 5 in total bases, and that's Anthony Rendon.
That's why he's probably been the Nationals' most valuable player.
The other guys on that list, Stanton, Pence, McCutchen on that list. Adrian Gonzalez, I believe, was on that list.
Yeah, those guys you expect.
Those are the usual suspects, but Rendon, and you get a sense that he's going to be on those lists for a while. Just 24.
Yeah, as you like to say, he's a keeper with the Nationals, without question. Changed positions. He was at second when Zimmerman got hurt. Moved over to third base. And Matt Williams knows all about playing third base.
2-2 up and in as Dribble Cabrera waits on deck. Nationals certainly have done more damage with the bats than Miami. 6 hits to go with their 1 run. The Marlins have just the 1 hit against Strasburg in their 4 innings. And that was Justin Bour's roller up the middle. Breaking ball, it hung, and Rendon punishes it. Yelich will collect it on the line. Rendon has an RBI double.
And adds to that total bases list.
39th double on the season for Rendon.
Well, we saw the fastball out over the plate that Scherholz hit. Now a real slow curveball, but not located well. And Rendon stays back and uses those hands that we have seen are so quick.
Chuck Hernandez out to speak with Nathan Eovaldi. Three extra base hits in the inning and a 2-0 lead for the Nationals.
Well, it's been 7 starts for Nathan Eovaldi since his last win. His last win was August 8th. He pitched tremendously in Cincinnati. 8 innings, 5 hits, no runs.
Rendon at second. Still only 1 out, and Eovaldi misses in to his Dribble Cabrera. Pitch count rising. 76 for Eovaldi. In his last 2 starts, he's been unable to get through the 5th inning. And he goes 3-0, and a much better hitter, a much more dangerous hitter is on deck in Bryce Harper. Jam shot. And Echeverria made the catch. We apologize for that outburst on behalf of Asdrubal Cabrera. Here now is Bryce Harper. Andrew Heaney up in Miami's bullpen. The Roach is on deck. Nationals don't have all of their regulars in. But the guys they have in have done the job. Lobaton and Schierholtz with big hits in this inning. And Harper cranks one in the gap. Ozuna is there and makes the running catch. Marcell Ozuna runs it down. And the Nationals have to settle for a 2-0 lead. Halfway through in Miami. Steven Strasburg and the Nationals on top. Let's check in with Craig Minervini.
Rich, real cool spot to watch the game. The bullpen zone. Big party here today. You're right on the field in right field. And not only that, they've got the PlayStation for you if you want to watch play Marlins and watch them at the same time. And a big party going on as we have the sea creatures here. Where's the birthday boy? How old are you now?
7.
Cooper is 7 years old. Pretty cool party here. Tell me about it, Tony.
It's cool. Everybody gets together, has a good time.
And why did it come up to come to a Marlins game for Cooper's 7th birthday?
We can't think of a better place to spend our son's birthday with friends and family.
And are these some of your friends too?
Sea creature.
The Shark here, Bob the Shark, has been really torturing many of these partygoers, no?
He's been photobombing everybody.
Bob, not nice. He's very fast too. Is anyone going to beat? Are you guys going to beat him today? It's been an embarrassing year. All right, Cooper, tell me about how much fun you're having here.
Really fun.
They got baseballs, souvenirs, good fun time here at the bullpen zone. All right, let's go back to you guys.
That is fun. Hey Craig,
yeah,
still down there? The Stanton jersey that's hanging up there. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I have. I think that's from the group above here.
Gotcha.
That's what they were telling me. Yeah, they do have a Get Well stand, and I think it's right above here. Somebody has that old jersey. Maybe we can find that out next.
Craig, I'm just surprised. I'm just surprised you didn't keep your party hat from yesterday's birthday, A.J. Ramos's birthday party.
That's right. I think the rubber band broke. It wasn't a real high-end party hat.
A little birthday down there in right field. Justin Bour for Miami. Jared Saltalamacchia, Kike Hernandez as well. In the bottom of the 5th, and Bour hooks one to first. LaRoche. Steps on the bag. Tuesday night, Checkers brings you the pitching matchup, and it's a good one. Cole Hamels and Henderson Alvarez, they met about a week and a half ago in Philly. Both guys went 7 innings. Both guys gave up a run. Neither figured in an extra inning decision. Salta Lamacchia now.
How about the note in that Phillies-Oakland game last night? The veteran Jerome Williams for the Phillies went 7 shutout innings. Phillies won that game 3-0. He did something no other Major League pitcher's ever done. It was the 3rd time that he had beaten Oakland, and he's done it with 3 different teams. He beat them earlier in the year when he was with Texas, and he beat them earlier than that when he was with Houston.
That's amazing, because there have been starting pitchers that have moved around.
Yeah, and I think when he was with either Houston or Texas, he only had a couple of starts. But one of those was against Oakland, and he beat them.
So is it he's the first pitcher to ever beat Oakland?
No, a major league team.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, a guy like pick a Hall of Famer. Randy Johnson's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Randy Johnson.
But you wonder if you were with
Seattle, Houston, Arizona, San Francisco.
Well, all in 1 year was he with 3 teams? So.
Oh, all in 1 year.
It's all in 1 year.
I missed that.
So you have to listen.
It's Sunday, Tommy. It's having a hard time getting going. The 0-2 back to Strasburg, who's been brilliant here in this one. Strasburg has 2 outs in the 5th. He's got a run of 11 in a row set down against the odds. Sunday edition inside the Marlins. That's coming up today after Marlins Live postgame. It's on Fox Sports Florida. It's all about Brett Butler, his playing career as a Dodger, of course surviving cancer as a member of the Dodgers, and his impact on the Marlins, which has been quite significant. Kike Hernandez, a liner to right, is caught there by Nate Schierholtz. And Strasburg striding off 67 pitches. That's it for Steven Strasburg. So far, into the 6th inning this game goes. It's your last chance for the Chevron Crazy 8 ticket offer. Wednesday's game on the 24th against the Phillies. It's a night game at 7:10. If you visit a participating Chevron, fill up with Chevron with Techron gasoline. Bring your receipt to the ticket office. Get up to 60% off lower level tickets. Restrictions apply. Here is Adam LaRoche. Liner, Justin Bour up to get it.
Made it look like it was pretty routine from Justin Bour. What do you think of the camouflage sleeve by LaRoche?
Pitch misses down low. The camouflage sleeve, camo has become more popular, not only in sports but also in mainstream apparel. I know that you shop at Lululemon a lot. I noticed a lot of camo there in their new stuff.
See, there's Adam LaRoche.
I think he probably wears that in a duck blind in December or January. I could see he and Chipper Jones duck hunting with the camo sleeves on.
At one time, teammates with the Braves.
Espinoza.
Speaking of the Braves, it'll be interesting to see if there are any shakeups in that organization.
It's an article on MLB.com indicating that there could be. Braves have collapsed the last few weeks. Remember, Atlanta got off to a 17-9 start. After that, they've been 10 under. They're 2 under right now, 76 and 78.
So it's good to get off to a good start, but it's a long season.
Braves are having their issues again today. You know, the Mets are there. Down goes Espinoza. 2-0 Nationals. And carnage in the sea creature race. That's a good one. The crab, that's piling on. The seahorse
I think he was penalized for that.
Oh, the octopus thinks he's got to win, Hut. Julio must go down, and he must go down hard.
I'm not sure that's legal.
That's all right.
I guess in some states.
I would expect Bob the Shark is cutting the seahorse in on his winnings.
Team Kike. I like that.
Here's Strasburg now. Echeverria's up, and he bunts third base side. It's a good one. Rendon bare hands and makes the play.
When he finished that throw, he was 3-4 steps from home plate. Had to go across his body. This is a good bunt, too, by Echeverria. Across the body. Good throw, and in time. Tremendous play by Anthony Rendon.
That is deflating. You do everything right, as Echeverria did, as you see Ed Lucas coming in to pinch hit here in the 6th, and you get an out. We were talking before the break about the Braves. The Mets right now are in Atlanta and on top 5-0 in that ball game. The Mets have overtaken the Marlins. Miami a half game back. If the Mets beat Atlanta, they'll be a half game behind Atlanta for second in the East.
Well, you remember the game that Jacob deGrom had against the Marlins. The start, he had 8 consecutive strikeouts. Andrew Heaney's going to make an appearance in this game. deGrom threw 4 innings, no hits, no runs, no walks, 8 strikeouts in Atlanta.
Rookie of the year. Meanwhile, Irvin Santana's given up 5 runs, including a Ruben Tejada home run.
Strasburg has retired 13 consecutive hitters. You don't expect this, as the strikeout numbers are down for Strasburg. He's gotten 11 ground ball outs.
Lucas swings and misses. And Strasburg with another strikeout. Strasburg in this one has given up just the 1 hit. And now 4 strikeouts.
Been a couple balls hit pretty hard. Christian Yelich hit a hard 1-hopper to third base his last time up. Case McGee hit a shot in the 4th inning.
There's a shot into left field. And Yelich with a 2-out single. So the Marlins have just their 2nd hit. Justin Bour's roller up the middle was the other hit. That was back in the 2nd inning.
Well, we've talked about the differences with Giancarlo out of the lineup. In the last 6 games, the Marlins have just the Justin Bour home run. So in order to score, they're going to have to string together a few base hits.
It's a Miami team that has gone through stretches where they've had trouble scoring runs. But whenever they get in one of those stretches, they're always able to pull out of it. And the guy that, in most cases, has led them out of it is Giancarlo Stanton.
And at times, they had stretches, or Giancarlo had stretches, where he was not hitting, not swinging well. But there are a couple of periods where the ball club was able to put together some offense and score some runs. But the difference there is that he was in that lineup. which to me just continues to point to how valuable he has been to this team all year.
Take a snapshot of Marlin games over the last week post Milwaukee, and then imagine an entire season of that. Solano, a little tapper. Rendon has made every play possible, and he makes that one as well. He is an outstanding defensive third baseman as well as a real offensive force. Two 2-0 Nationals on top. It's the 7th. Let's check in with Craig.
Well, Rich, we've noticed during the game this Giancarlo Stanton old school jersey hanging up here in right field, a fitting spot since Stanton is not here. And that was the idea of Mark here and his son, grandfather's here too. And why'd you bring it out here, Mark?
Show support for Stanton.
Got in there with the hanger and no problem, old school jersey?
Yes, sir.
Well, you got the tickets. Did you think about getting right field seats, or just worked out that way?
It just worked out for me. Just saw him online, saw him in the front row, and just went for it.
Did you guys see the Stan jersey when the team was on the road hanging in the dugout?
Actually, yeah, we did. Yeah.
Who came up with the idea?
My father came up with it.
So you saw it on the road and said, hey.
Yeah.
What about missing him and looking forward to see him next year?
Can't wait. I'd love to see him.
All right, good to talk to you guys. Thanks a lot. Good fans, generations of Marlin fans here on a Sunday afternoon, guys.
Outstanding. All right, thank you, Craig. Andrew Heaney on the mound for Miami. It's the 7th. Steven Strasburg throwing a 2-hit shutout. Heaney takes over.
Well, we saw Andrew Heaney the other night, inning in 2/3 at Citi Field in New York, and he threw the ball well.
Nathan Eovaldi 6 innings as Lobaton lines one into the seats.
You know, for Andrew Heaney, this being Sunday and depending on how things go for him, this could set things up for him to pitch in one of those doubleheader games Friday.
Friday, it's a day-night doubleheader in Washington. The day game will not be televised. We will have the night game for you here on Fox Sports Florida. Nate Schierholtz on deck. He elevates a fastball, gets a strikeout.
I think you see, when you watch Andrew Heaney, you see that nice, fluid, easy delivery. Not going to overpower hitters. His fastball's in that 92 range. But elevated that time to pick up the strikeout. just 23 years old is Andrew Heaney.
Heaney's fastball is up. Nathan, of all these 6 innings, he ends up giving up to 2 runs. He didn't walk anybody, struck out 4. And so an improvement for Eovaldi from his last 2 starts, where he was unable to get through the 5th inning. Count stays at 1-2. Houston has scored first against Seattle. 1-0 in the 3rd. Seattle right now all lined up in that wild card. They're on the outside looking in, but by only half a game behind Kansas City, who's got the number 2 spot, who's a half game behind Oakland, who has the number 1 spot. Oakland's game against the Phillies is about an hour away from starting. Detroit and Kansas City have started, and Kansas City has the first run. 1-0 bottom 2nd.
I think when you haven't worked in a while, as you see Strasburg on deck, but for Andrew Heaney, sometimes the tendency is to overthrow a little bit. He's missed a couple of times upstairs with fastballs. Remember, he started the year Double-A, got called up, had some struggles, went to Triple-A, worked on some things, and overall between Double-A and Triple-A had a pretty good year.
Three-two pitch. Bohr went a ways away. Solano waited for him to get back to the bag before he threw it and gets the out. It's always a scramble for a first baseman, but he got there, makes the play. Closing day is on Thursday, a 4:10 start. Marlins and Phillies. All fans get a magnetic schedule for 2015, courtesy of Pepsi. Seniors 55 and older get complimentary tickets. Go to marlins.com. Down 0-2 to Strasburg. He pulls one. McGee tumbles, rights himself, and gets the out. Nice play by Casey McGee. 7th inning stretch already here in Miami. It's been all Steven Strasburg so far today. bottom 7. Look at the cotton candy. Big parade with the little leaguers and such before the ball game. Matt Williams looks very comfortable managing this ball club, and he may be the manager of the year in the National League. Our Toyota trend. Nationals Marlins all time. Nationals have never swept a 4-game series against the Fish. They have the opportunity here. They've got the right guy on the mound. Steven Strasburg for the Marlins has been a puzzle they have not been able to solve.
Well, it was certainly something we talked about the other night. The Marlins, to take that next step, have to start winning more games within their division. And coming into this game, 5-9 against the Nationals, under 500 against the Mets, under 500 against the Phillies.
Casey McGee climbs in. Marcell Ozuna, Justin Bour. Strasburg not only has shut Miami out on just 2 hits, he's done it with just 76 pitches. Strikeout leader in the National League. Has 4 strikeouts in the ball game.
I think you see a more mature Steven Strasburg. He works in a 2-seamer when he needs to. He'll throw 96 or 97. Mix in some change-ups. He always has that good curveball right there.
Ball and 2 strikes. And he went. Strikeout number 5. Average fastball velocity if you go 2012 through this year. You've got Strasburg right behind Eovaldi, Samardzija, Price, and then Jordan Zimmerman. So we've seen 3 of the 5 hardest throwers in that 3-season span.
I think one of the things you can point to when you see those other pitchers, other than Nathan Eovaldi, they've developed, and I think certainly Nathan Eovaldi has plenty of time to do that. He's just 24.
Ozuna cracks one to left, and it falls for a hit, and it kicks off with Franzen. Ozuna hustling, and oh my goodness, he went in and he went down. Is he injured?
Oh, boy, indecision and not sliding, and he is hurt.
Marcell Ozuna down, out by second base. His right foot was the one that he tried to get to the bag and stop with, and he just didn't stop. Let's see. Yeah, he turned the ankle.
Well, and that once it turned, then he completely flipped over off the bag. He's tagged out. Oof. Oh. Boy, the lesson there for young kids, if you're watching, and we certainly hope Marcell isn't injured badly, but the lesson there is, if you have a doubt, when in doubt, go ahead and slide.
Sean Cunningham, Marlins trainer, Trying to communicate with Ozuna, who obviously is in great pain.
Boy, between Giancarlo's injury right here with Marcell Ozuna, both Sean Cunningham and Mike Kozak have had their hours tested.
You can see Ozuna going between pain and anger right now.
Yeah.
Both Mike Redmond, Brett Butler, and Sean Cunningham will lift him up, try to test it, or to help him off.
Yeah, they just don't want him to put any weight on that right ankle. When you think about it, Rich, however many games this is going to cost Marcell Ozuna, another big bat will be subtracted from the Marlins lineup.
Okay. And so Ozuna leaving the field. And he'll have to navigate the stairs now.
He'll have to see if that's ruled a double or a single, because he had actually gotten to the bag.
Yeah, he touched the bag.
So this would be double right here. Oh, look at that right ankle. And he's out as he rolls over in pain from rolling that ankle.
So he does get a double, his 26th of the season. And for the Marlins, they're faced with 2 outs, nobody on, and still a 3-hit shutout by Steven Strasburg. Off the bat of Bohr. LaRoche robbed it from him. An 8-pitch inning from Strasburg. Bohr hit it hard. LaRoche is a Gold Glover, and he's shown that off in this series.
The NFL and Papa John.
And the Nationals, Strasburg has been on a roll. 7 shutout innings. He's given up just 3 hits and punched out 5. Offensively, Tommy, the Nationals able to get a couple runs in the 5th inning.
Yeah, they put together some pretty good swings on some pitches that had middle of the plate. A big one, a triple by Nate Scherholz, and then Anthony Rendon has really impressed us since we've seen him, since he came on the scene a little bit last year with quick hands. He gets himself a 2-base hit. A couple of changes for the Marlins. Garrett Jones comes in the game. He goes to right field, moving into center to take the place of Marcell Ozuna is Kike Hernandez. We saw Kike in center field when the ball club was in Houston, when he was still an Astro.
Andrew Heaney, a 1-2-3 seventh. Rendon, Cabrera, and Bryce Harper. The Marlins without Marcell Ozuna now. Ankle injury at second base. He did not put any weight on the ankle as he was helped off the field. Heaney goes to work on Rendon. Rendon has put on a clinic at the plate and in the field in this ball game. He has been outstanding, and he sends that one out to left center. Kike Hernandez wanders out there, makes a catch, and out in the 8th. Fan photo, AT&T fan photo. Those that have sent it in with hashtag FL fan photo. We'll see what we got.
What do we have on this Sunday?
Uncle Louie with a Brad Penny hat. There you go. Cabrera into center field. He's got a 1-out hit for the Nationals. Washington trying to sweep a 4-game set from Miami. Marlins trying to get to the finish line with as many wins as they can collect to show the improvement they made from last year. The hard part, obviously, for the Fish, doing it without Giancarlo Stanton, and it looks like without Marcell Ozuna for the time being. And of course, it's a team that's been without the Rookie of the Year, Jose Fernandez, since his elbow injury and Tommy John surgery earlier in the season. Braves have a couple runs against the Mets, 5-2. Mets a half game in front of the Marlins in the East and gaining rapidly on the Braves. That's now in the 6th inning. They finally got a couple runs off of Jacob deGrom, who in 5 innings has struck out 10.
Well, he's become a strikeout machine. What do you have, 13 against the Marlins?
He's become the National League Rookie of the Year. Dodgers 2-1 over the Cubs, bottom of the 2nd.
And you're right. I think a month ago, most would have said Billy Hamilton of the Reds.
Not now, not with this performance, and not with the Mets surging and taking third. And you got to know the motivation in that clubhouse is a chance to finish in 2nd place in the National League East. 2-2. Harper fouls it off. This is a matchup you could be seeing for the next 3, 4, 5 years. As Anthony DeSclafani's in the pen, and that's Andrew Heaney against Bryce Harper.
Well, you look at these games and you say, well, to some they mean this, and to others they mean that. And to young pitchers such as an Andrew Heaney, it's a great opportunity just to get a little more experience at this level.
Fouled off. Country breakfast. Billy Butler has knocked in a run. And the Royals have a 2-1 lead over the Tigers.
That's only fitting, Rich, on a Sunday. Country breakfast would go deep. I mean,
well, he didn't knock one out. He knocked in a run.
Okay, but you know, big hits on a Sunday. What's better than a country breakfast?
That's a very important ball game for Kansas City.
Yeah, it is.
2-1. They lead the Tigers mid-3. They're 2.5 back in the Central. It's an enormous, with a week to play, that's an enormous 2-game swing. They win the game, they're a game and a half back. They lose the game, they're 3.5 back.
With a week left, and that's tough.
Kansas City goes to Cleveland next. Detroit is home against the White Sox. Then Kansas City is in Chicago to take on the White Sox. And the Tigers are home to finish the year against the Twins.
One of the things, and it's still not to major league level, that Andrew Heaney needs to work on, and that's his move to first base.
Heaney wins that battle. Second strikeout for Andrew Heaney. Here comes Adam LaRoche. MLB.TV Premium, #1 live streaming sports service. 12 years. Millions of subscribers. You can watch every out-of-market game live in HD. And you get a free at-bat 14 subscription. And it's a good thing to have during the postseason.
You know, think about Andrew Heaney and any pitcher that has a below average move to first base. You can correct that by becoming quicker to the plate. There are a lot of guys who don't have good moves to first, but if they're quick to the plate, it doesn't matter.
LaRoche fouls it off. Chris Coughlin has knocked in a run. Dodgers 2-1 over the Cubs in the third.
Jacob Turner starting that game for the Cubs.
As contentious as Milwaukee and Pittsburgh was yesterday, they're scoreless in the bottom of the 7th right now in Pittsburgh.
Again. Good pitch.
Echeverria out is there, and he makes the catch. Andrew Heaney, 2 very nice innings. Bottom 8, 2-0. 2-0 Nationals on top, bottom 8. Jose Fernandez bobblehead day. Jack White and his band apparently playing at the Fillmore tonight on tour.
Just kind of kicking back, relaxing at a ball game.
Enough of Steven Strasburg. Many in the Marlins dugout probably relieved to see Craig Stammen out there. Strasburg continues what has to be a confidence building late season push for his manager Matt Williams to see their ace pitch like it. Last 5 starts now for Strasburg. His ERA is under a run and a half. 33 strikeouts, 2 walks in those 5 starts. And if he gets the win here, he'll be 3-1 in that stretch.
You always wonder, a different time of year, different situation, would he have stayed in there? Strasburg, in 108 major league starts now in his career, has just 1 complete game.
I think a lot of that had to do with, number one, when he got to the big leagues, he had the kid gloves on. They wanted to limit his pitches. As you pointed out, 19 games in the minor leagues?
Yeah, not even that many. 17.
17?
Yeah.
And then, of course, with the Tommy John injury, his path back into the rotation and to reestablish himself, they were very careful with pitch limits and all of that.
Which I think Marlins fans certainly have to be aware of when Jose Fernandez comes back.
Oh, without a doubt. It's not going to be Jose, go out there and pitch as long as you can. And Stammen strikes out Saltalamacchia. AT&T Uverse brings you our rewind. Let's see what we got. Ah, the Kike Hernandez catch. That was a double play. He got the runner at first. Never left his glove.
The greatest thing about that is that he popped up and he knew that there was a chance for a double play. He knew where the runners were, and he came up and threw right to first base.
And here is Kike.
And hit a drive his last time up off Strasburg. Get the ball really well to right field.
Nationals headed to the postseason. They've clinched the East. They keep playing like this, they'll have home field advantage. That means a little something extra in the paycheck for every player. And we're talking about the Mets having overtaken the Marlins and about to take a bite out of the Braves and get closer to second place. There's second place money.
I think there is, yeah. It's kind of changed over the last few years, ever since the extra wild card. Anthony DeSclafani getting loose.
Out. Came up and hit him. Hernandez aboard, and Chavarria coming up.
Back on that back arm.
And I know there's more than a few Marlin fans that probably in a sarcastic tone yelled out, "Is it a swing?"
I think I yelled that the other night in a similar situation. Sarcastically.
That's okay.
Stammen, one of those guys that's valuable to their team, especially during the long haul, the long season. 47 appearances, but 71 in the third inning. So you know he's not a one-inning guy.
Reed Johnson is on deck. The Marlins certainly have seen all they like of Clippard and Storen. They both have combined for the 8th and the 9th inning Friday and Saturday in 3-2 wins. Here it's 2-0. Hispanic Heritage Month in Major League Baseball. Stammen goes 2-1 on Echeverria.
Pittsburgh Rich has taken a 1-0 lead in that game against the Brewers.
That would be a devastating loss to the Brewers, who would fall 4.5 back in the wild card with a week to go. Detweiler and Trinan. To Echeverria. We've talked about the Marlins moving forward to next year and adding pieces. I think another thing that would certainly benefit a club that plays in a ballpark like this is add a little speed and some base stealing acumen.
It's not the type of ballpark you want to sit back and always hope for that 3-run homer.
That went through Stammen. It ends up with Espinosa, and it turns into an inning-ending double play. And that's the third double play that the Nationals have turned in this ballgame. It goes 1-6-3.
That looks good.
Yeah, I got to eat right this fall. I'm doing crop fit.
Game, the Nationals in control, just 3 hits for Miami. 9th inning arrives. Andrew Heaney has filed in 2 really nice innings. 2 scoreless innings, a pair of strikeouts. He gave up a single to Asdrubal Cabrera. Kevin Franzen, Danny Espinosa, Jose Lobaton scheduled for the Nationals.
Well, and had the Nationals not turned that double play, it would have been it for Andrew Heaney, but he gets one more inning. We saw DeSclafani warming up. He would have come in the game.
Just over 22,000 for Jose Fernandez bobblehead day. Franzen an 0 for 3 ball game. That 5th inning against Eovaldi is when the Nationals got their 2 runs. Jose Lobaton a liner to left that Christian Yelich dove for, missed, turned into a double. Nate Schierholtz then ripped a triple without any doubts about it into right field, went all the way to the wall. That scored Lobaton. Then Anthony Rendon got a hanging breaking ball, clubbed it down the left field line for a double, and that made it 2-0. Difficult pick, and Solano makes it look easy.
Well, once again, you talked about it earlier, Rich, the lack of support over the last, I don't know how many starts for Nathan Eovaldi has been evident, and has been, and it was for him when he was in the game, evident here today.
I think it's 20 starts, 19 runs now. Yeah, last 20 starts, combined 19 runs of support. Espinosa has to dance out of the way.
Espinosa had a couple of years, 21 home runs, 2011, hit 17 in 2012. Too many strikeouts, though. And then some others just kind of took over. And Anthony Rendon came on the scene.
I think Espinosa getting at bats and playing time simply because of the issues with Ryan Zimmerman that moved Rendon from second to third.
Look at Tootie. Tootie works the whole 9 innings.
Got the big tip jar going.
Yeah, that's his second one, I think, today, too. Just a little worried there.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get back to the ball game. Solano, and whips it across. Espinosa is out. And so Heaney just keeps getting outs. And as you pointed out, it is lined up, if the Marlins choose to have Heaney finish this game, a possible start in D.C.
Well, it would be it would give him 4 days. Certainly it would be the 5th day, would be Friday, one of those doubleheader games. And he's getting some nice work in here today, and just a tremendous 3 innings of work. Good job for Andrew Heaney.
A 1-2-3 ninth fish down to their last 3 outs.
I got punts.
Inside the Marlins, against the odds, Brett Butler. That's coming up after Marlins Live. It's a terrific piece. Allison Williams hosting, Frank Fort producing. Nice impact on the ball club this year, Brett Butler. All right, the old closer's in, Rafael Soriano, and he's in for a save opportunity here, with Drew Storen having saved the ball game on Friday night and last night.
And you know, it's one of those years, if you didn't know what had been happening recently, Bryce Harper moves into left field. They make a couple of changes. Michael Taylor, first appearance for Taylor in this series. But if you just looked at the overall numbers for Soriano this year, 4-1, ERA 3.15, 31 saves, fewer hits than innings pitched. You would say all is well, but it hasn't been.
No, he's been trending downward, and that's the issue. After the All-Star break, his ERA is 6.5. Reed Johnson, the count 2-0. X-rays negative on Marcell Ozuna's right ankle, an ankle sprain. And although that's a painful injury, it's a lot better than a broken ankle.
Yes, it is.
Johnson hitting in the pitcher spot, 2-1 coming. Reed Johnson, left field, hit well to the track, and off the wall it goes. Johnson will hold at second. And the Marlins have a start here in the ninth. A pinch hit double by Reed Johnson. He swung the bat quite well over the last couple weeks.
Well, he hit a ball last night in the fourth inning off Zimmerman, straightaway center field. That could have been a home run. This one could have been a home run, but chased back by Harper, who just went into left field, remember. He got a little turned around with his route on a ball that was catchable, but not an easy play by any means. And Reed Johnson's played enough games here. He knows that he's got to go hard on a ball, even though he hit it that well.
Yelich now. Well, the fans that are here for Jose Fernandez bobbleheads, 22,000, making noise, trying to get the Marlins to rally here in the ninth.
Reed Johnson's 15th pinch hit, by the way, this year.
Yelich to center. Caught there. Johnson tags on his way to third, and he's in there. Williams watching. You've got Solano. Remember, Marcell Ozuna's out. Garrett Jones is in that spot, in the 4 spot behind McGee. McGee is on deck.
Well, the infield will be back. They'll take the out.
Solano's bounced to third twice. Drives it right center field. It's caught. Tagging is Johnson, and he will score. So Miami gets a run, but they're down to their last out.
Boy, they've hit every ball hard off Rafael Soriano, and you know Matt Williams has filed all those swings away.
the ball game, and the Nationals sweep the Marlins in a 4-game series. The Nationals with a lot of momentum heading towards the postseason, and they play like the East champs that they are. 91-64 for the Nationals. McGee lines out to end the ball game. And a 2-1 final. Washington wins it.
Nothing